Great. I think everything is working. Hopefully everything's streaming where it's supposed to be. Hang on, let me. This YouTube thing, let me just make sure I got, give me 1 second. Great to have everybody. Let me see if I can pop my chat out without, give me 1 second, folks. Been a busy morning. Hope everybody's doing great. And let me see if I can pop out the chat and not lose anybody. And I did. Great, get in. Say hi. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you need. Put some question marks in front of your questions. If you're a boot camper, give me a hashtag. If you're a leader, give me a hashtag. If you're in one of my programs, let me know it. I love to say hi to you, give you a shout out. Looks like everything is going great. Okay, I got about 90 minutes today, or so, maybe just a little under. But looking forward to this. It's going to be all about your questions. I got a couple of public service announcements because I'm really excited about everything that I have going over the next 35 or 36 days. And so if you're in my programs, you're really going to love what's coming up and how I'm going to get you ready to finish the year strong and start 2021, which we all hope is going to be a better year, out with a bang. So let me say hi, and I think I saw something from Laura Cobbin here earlier, and my recovery's going great because I didn't have anything to recover from because my event got canceled. But I'm still rolling right along. Had my first workout this morning. Did about a 90-minute bike ride and a 30-minute stretch, and I got some strength training to do later in the day. But the body feels pretty good. All right, Rasha, my boot camper, how you doing? Completed my first regular interview today and have a second one on Sunday. Whoa, good luck to you. Yes, you are a boot camper. I have never had a technical interview. What should I do to prepare for it? There's no job description as I reached out to the company myself. I love that. Okay, so couple things. Let me just see. I don't know that I can grab you from the other side. All right, so wait. I was so scrambling. I got to take a sip of this delicious oat milk latte that I made myself, triple shot ristretto. All right, Rasha's got a technical interview without a job description. So first thing is there's two pieces to this. If you don't have the job description, Rasha, in Module 4 in the Job Search Bootcamp, you have a sliver in there that talks about when you do not have a job description and how you piece together what it is that you need. I also, for anybody who's not in my Job Search Bootcamp, I have a video out on YouTube. Maybe Stacy can pop it up in the chat on how to prepare for the interview without the job description. And the theme of that, I'm not going to go, it is a really sharp, fast, detailed video of exactly what you need to do. But the gist of it is that you've got to be able to glean from the employer what it is that they need, what it is that is the biggest challenge for them, what is it that where they need the most help. But you also have to do some triangulating with what would you expect they would want you to do? What would you expect that organization to need? So you do some homework, you get those, you dial in your expectations based on your research, your feeling for the position. Obviously, they liked your background. What you do not want to do is go in and start talking about yourself. And why don't you want to do that? Because there's probably a lot of great things that you can do. The trick to winning the interview is making sure that you are speaking to the pieces of your skills, your experience, your capabilities, the industry knowledge, whatever it might be, that maps to what it is that they need right now and in the short term. So it's called selling to the gap. So you want to make sure that you understand what their gap is before you just start speaking about all these things that are great about you. You want to be spending the most time talking about yourself in the context of what they need. That's the first thing. I go into all this in that video, and there's more about it in the boot camp. The second thing is you asked about a technical interview. So the technical interview is I would just make sure that I was brushed up on whatever the concepts are that is your technical domain. So technical is a loose term that it doesn't mean it's a coding interview or an engineering interview or anything. A technical interview it could be for a project manager. How would you run that project? That's a technical interview where they're basically checking your, I hate the air quotes, but the technical skills. So you just want to make sure that you are understanding the methodology that you have experience with in how you do what you do. So the best thing you can do for a technical interview is not study bits and bytes. It's study the main frameworks and concepts. And one video that I have out there, boy, this is gonna challenge Stacy, because I think it was a live office hours show that we did, but it was about how do you remember your interviewing lines. Basically, how do you remember the stories that you want to tell? And I can't remember if I titled the live office hours video that way, but maybe Stacy could dig that out for you. It was probably back in August, I'm going to say, that we did that. And the reason I point you to something about memory is because one of the easiest ways for you to remember something and to respond effectively is to remember the outline in your head. And when you are in a technical interview, the outline and the framework and your methodologies are your very best friends, because it's more important that you are speaking conceptually correct than it is specifically correct. I hope that makes sense. I would go there, and the great news for you, Rasha, and I'm going to say this a few times, is number one, if you are in the boot camp or not in the boot camp, next Thursday, we have a private coaching session. The following Friday, we have a private coaching session. The week of November 16th, we have 4 sessions, private for the boot campers, and then November 25th. So between Thursday, next Thursday, and Thanksgiving, there's 7 opportunities to work with me in a private group coaching session format. And it's really, I'm really going to be spending a lot of time with people in my job search bootcamp. So and we just put the thing on special last night. So for the next 7 days, up until 11 o'clock next Thursday, a.m. my time, it's on special. You get in and you can take advantage of that 7 session run that we're going to have. I'm that concerned about your well-being. I'm that concerned about the time of year. I'm that concerned about the pandemic and making sure that you guys have what you need. So please check that out if you are interested. I've never done that before, where I've had so many private coaching sessions within such a short period of time. So let's do it. Get in there. And Rasha, you know where to find me. Hope that helped. All right. Burger Boy. Yes, yesterday I had 4 interviews. Awesome. With a company for a marketing job. Oh, I love your abbreviations there. First 3 went great, 4th didn't. VP sales, hadn't opened my resume, prepped it all. It led to a choppy, unstructured convo. Can I recover with the thank you email? So number 1, I'm glad that you went 75%. And number 2, I'm sorry that happened. And this is a great, great teaching moment for everybody. You need to go into every single job interview that you ever have for the rest of your life, assuming that they know absolutely nothing about you. Okay, you need to do that, because this isn't an exception. What Burger Boy 734 is talking about is that's actually more normal. It really is. You like to think that everybody is going to dig in, spend that time, and research you to the extent that you research them. But the greater likelihood, and I wrote about this in Interview Intervention, if you don't have the book, we give it away free to anybody in the world, you're their midday distraction, right? The VP of sales you're interviewing for a marketing job. He figures the marketing people got it covered, right? So, number 1, make sure you make that assumption. Number 2, just what's done is done. So between you and me, Burger Boy, whatever your name is, I would not sweat it. He's the VP of sales. And while it might be choppy, if you hit home runs with the others who I hope were in the marketing department, or maybe it was HR in the marketing department or the recruiter in the marketing department, hopefully those will carry the day. Now, in the thank you email, while on the one hand, right, I shoot you videos, lots of videos on the YouTube channel about how to thank somebody, and there is a protocol that I'd like you to follow, assuming that everything went generally well. But regardless, it is not incumbent upon you to try to save an interview in a thank you email. I would still stick to the script that I give you in Interview Intervention on page 83 is the template, and I would go with that format. In that middle paragraph, if you don't know what I'm talking about with the thank you emails, get the Interview Intervention book or go to the YouTube channel and type thank you in my search. Actually, just go to the internet and type thank you LaCivita. They'll come up. And the first paragraph is about thanking them for their time, and the last paragraph is about expressing and reiterating your interest. But the middle paragraph of the thank you email is the money paragraph where you are selling yourself and reiterating why you're the right person for the job. I would simply do that. I would stress the things that you are, not the things that you're not, or how choppy the interview was, or don't make any reference to it. Pretend like it went great from your end, right? I feel like I'm the best candidate for the job because, or I'm a strong candidate for the job because, and then go into that. But it isn't about you needing to save it. I think it's just about you putting a good thank you email together. And I wanna cap this off because I get this question almost daily. Andy, I see you also recommend sending handwritten thank you cards. It's the pandemic and nobody is working in their office. What do I do? In those situations where you're Zooming with somebody, or people aren't spending a lot of time in the office, or maybe they just came in to see you on this one day, just say, hey, I'd like to drop something in the mail for you, whether it's Zoom or even if it's a late interview in your process and you're on the phone with somebody, not early on in the process, but later in the process, or if it's face-to-face, hey, where's the best place to send it? How can I get it to you quickly? If you're not working in the office, will they forward it to you? I don't care if you're running out of time. Send the dang thing, and if they get it 3 weeks later, they get it 3 weeks later. All right, remember, think holistically. And yes, I want you to send it because if you can time it correctly, a handwritten note can really add to you getting the job. But I realize that a lot of people are working virtually. Say, hey, do you have a P.O. box, or can I send it to your house? If not, I'll be happy to send it to the office. Just get what you can. And if they say, I'd prefer not to get it, then you say, okay, right? But it does not excuse you from getting that information. If they aren't as receptive to getting one, or aren't as open with giving you the information, that's fine. But you made the attempt. It's not making the attempt. And then it's thinking about it after the fact when you're not there and able to exchange with them that, hey, I'd like to drop something in the mail. I give people my home address, right? I rarely go to my P.O. box. I don't like going to the mailbox. I don't get a lot of stuff there. And so when somebody says, hey, I get packages every week from people out in the community for size. Here's my home address, right? So most people, they're not gonna care. Anyway, since we're on the thank yous, I wanted to mention that, Burger Boy. Lots of luck with that. I hope it goes. I got my fingers crossed for you. All right, April J. Hey to you. Laura Cobb. Well, I don't know who knows what and who hears what. No mock simulation. I'll tell you this. I'm still training like the event was this weekend coming up. I don't like to. Wait. In anything in your life, folks. Wait. Wait. I got a message for you, and this is really important for where we're going into, especially this time of year. Here's what you all do. Okay, what Laura is referring to, and she's ribbing me, is I had a half Ironman event that I was supposed to do on October 3rd. It got canceled, but my coach and I've been training for a dang year. So I didn't slow down. I just kept going, and then about a month before the event, they told me it was canceled. Okay, now I don't like to change routines, and I don't like to do this and then all of a sudden stop stuff. Okay, so I'm still training. Like, I've tapered a little on the weekends, but I'm still working out 4 hours on the weekend instead of 6 hours on a Saturday or a Sunday each day. What a lot of you do, what do? You get in a situation where you need to job search. And then what do? It's like you go into Iron Man job searching, networking mode. And then you start calling all your friends and you start going into my challenge and you start sending your messages out every day. And then you're calling people and you're inviting them out to dinner when we used to be able to do that stuff. And then you get your job, and what happens? Nothing. That's right. You stop cold turkey. Why? You don't have to keep the challenge in motion. And if you don't know what my challenge is, look up Job Search Challenge on my YouTube channel, where you're sending out messages consistently. Can you not send some messages every week or every other or every month? Have a quota where you're reaching out and saying hello to people. It's a great way to go. I have a video out there on business networking and how to build professional relationships, and it's something that you all ought to go into maintenance mode when your event is over and you get that job. So I think it's a better way to go. But Laura, thank you for that. Mike, how are you? Yes, Laura, you are a boot camper and basically in everything, which is why we love you. Life-changing opportunity to start your own coaching business with total funding provided for life. I'm wondering if you're talking about like maybe a franchise or something. Start without dollars for 6 months during startup versus apply for jobs. Okay, so and the second thing you ask is fall back on job search with likelihood of obtaining job, or go for a Rocky style with own gig. No 100% guarantee it'll work, yet passion is there. Okay. Laura, number one, that's a personal decision. If you love it, when you all ask me these things like, should I go for it? My answer is yes. It's yes. All the time it's yes. Okay, it is. Provided that you love it, you're a boot camper. Laura, you need to, in module 1, you got to put yourself through the test, through the 4-question test, through the 7-part examination, all in module 1, right? You go through that, you answer yes to all those questions and all that good stuff, I say you go, right? But then again, I also need to know that you're going to work at it and you're going to make it work. I'm always going to tell you to jump off the cliff, always. It doesn't matter to me if you got 8 kids and college tuitions and all that stuff. If that's what you want to do, then I want you to do that, because I put my happiness and I put your happiness in the highest regard. That is my highest form of evaluation. So that's the first thing that I would say. And so you could always, simmer and look. But then what I would say is, well, you're not all in. And that's okay to not be all in. And you can evaluate the options as they come. Okay, now one book I really want you to get is Bo Eason's There's No Plan B for Your A Game. You need to read it. Okay, and you need to live it. And it's really, I think it'll really help give you some a clarity. I hate the word, but you know what I mean. The dust will settle, and it'll a number of the boot campers have read it, and people in the leadership program have read it because I've recommended it there. And I've had some coaching calls with people on this kind of stuff. It's really been a lot of fun. I hope that helps, but I can't say for sure, but that's how I would go about it. So you have the assets at your disposal because of the programs you're in. So take advantage of them. All right, April. About contract ratification, is it better to write the words 7 contracts or multiple contracts on a resume? You could also use the word several. I negotiate a new contract every 3 years for members and have for the past 20 years. I don't know exact. 7 might not seem like a lot over 20 years, and multiple can be 2. Several. I don't love general numbers. You could also, frequently negotiate contracts for. I don't know what it. I'm not sure what the contract is. 3 years could be like the blink of an eye, and that could be a ton, or it could be not like rare. So I'm not sure, and I generally don't like words like many, several, various, and those kind. I like specificity. I don't know. It depends on what the contract is. If it is a massively thick 100-page thing that needs to be ratified every few years, I think that's extensive. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'd need to know. I'd need to know more. All right, boot camper. Beth, and you got to put Beth Travert on there. You got to put Beth Travert. We have to meet one day. I have to see what the Beth Travert looks like what that's like in the personality. Catherine, how are you, my boot camper and my leader? Michael Moore, great to see you. Mike Rose, I'm sending a networking email to an acquaintance for an opening in her company, and I do not hear back. How long do I wait? 121 weeks. Okay, so what Mike is referring to is Mike goes to the Andy LaCivita School of Follow-Ups. So, okay, COVID, no COVID, pandemic, I don't really care what's going on in the world right now. You send somebody something, then the strength of your relationship determines how long you wait. If I send something to some people and they don't get back to me that day, I will call them the next day. Okay? Some people, I give them 1 day. Some people, I give them 2 days. Literally, I would know based on last time we spoke, how much I love them, the oddity that it is that they would not get back to me that day. Okay, so people have a reputation of responsiveness. Okay, so that's the first thing is you have to know that, and the warmth of your relationship determines the time frame. Now, if I reached back to somebody who I was once close with a long time ago, but have not seen them in a long time, I'll give them a week. Okay, somebody texted me this morning while I was on my bike, somebody who I love, somebody who I have not talked to in, I don't know, I'm guessing like 5 years, and I will make sure I call her back today. Okay, kind of thing. All right, she texted me. All right, now, you said an acquaintance. So, is it a recent acquaintance or is it a long time ago acquaintance? If it's a recent acquaintance, I'd probably give her, today's Thursday, I'd probably wait till mid next week, try her again, right? Even if it's a long time acquaintance, I would give them 7 days. If the acquaintance does not get back to you within 7 days, I probably would wait another week. So I might go 1-1-2 on this, meaning wait a week, wait another week, get 2 more weeks and just say, hey, no problem, I'm guessing you're busy, whatever. And that's okay to say to an acquaintance. You don't say stuff like that to somebody you don't know. But assuming that is an acquaintance, like an actual acquaintance, then that's what I would do, Mike. And then your next question is, when I resend the email, do I use the same string, change the wording? Mike, oh, you're really testing me. I can't remember if you're in the leadership. I think you're in the leadership program, and I'm not sure if you're in the boot camp. If I'm mistaken, if you are in the job search boot camp, or you have the interview collection. So I have a stripped down version of interview coaching, or I have a lot more interview coaching in the job search bootcamp. Mike, I think you might be in one or the other, and I think you're in the leadership program too. If you have the job search bootcamp, you definitely have the job interview mastery collection. If you have that, there's a follow-up session just on follow-ups, okay? And it talks about following up after an interview, but it's the same kind of thing. But I think you're in the interview collection, or you might have the interview course or something like that. If you do not have the job interview mastery and you're in the interview intervention course, I've combined these things over the time. If you do not have that, you let us know. We will give you that, okay? And if you don't have this, we'll give you the job interview mastery. It's 4 modules, and one of them is on following up. So regarding what so that's for you, regarding what wording to use. This goes for anybody. When you send a message on the front end, meaning you're networking, okay, and maybe you're going like Mike is at an acquaintance, you're going at somebody you used to work with, you're going at a cold boss or a recruiter or whatever, okay? You send a message. When you forward the message, you want to say as little as humanly possible, like, hey, I wanted to, actually I don't like the word just, but I wanted to follow up on this to see if we could connect. Please let me know, if we can spend a few minutes. That's it. Like, the fewer words you can put in to make a legible sentence with what you want is the best thing you can do. The longer it is, the worse it is. If they didn't respond to this, you do not want to double this and explain more about how dire your situation is or how you want to, what's going on in your life. Don't follow up with any of that stuff. Just want to follow up to see if we can connect on this. I'd really love your help. And then depending on who it is, somebody that you used to know, hey, I'd really value your opinion, or I really would love your help on this, or whatever. Okay, so that's also the warmth of your acquaintanceship or your friendship or that stuff also determines the words you're going to use in the follow-up. Without going into all the permutations and combinations, I hope that helps. And Mike, if you are, I think you might be in the interviewing stuff, and if you don't have that, you just send an email to support, and I'll give that to you. Okay, so I hope that helps. All right, I think you're tapping my memory there. Martha and Bob and William, my boot campers and all. And then William, yeah, you are a leader. Danielle Phillips, hey from LA. Hey folks, 11:27. Got another hour of this stuff. If you're liking what we got going, hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed to the channel, because it hurts me when you don't get my new stuff every Tuesday morning, or you don't get the alerts about when I have my specials. So hope you do that. All right. Beth is saying, yes, she is a boot camper. I used Andy's most recent salary advice from Instagram in an initial interview, and it was magic. They gave me the range without question. Too bad it was way low for me. Okay. Beth, two things. Thank you for that little plug. And one other thing. I spend more time. I know a lot of you guys watch me on YouTube, and I know we have some folks here who are probably on Facebook and LinkedIn. There's always a few folks that are watching from those platforms. I spend more time on Instagram than anywhere else, and every day I put out 2 motivational quote cards. I do a selfie video that is a self-help career hack, life tip, that kind of thing. It's not usually related to job searching. It's more about the leadership stuff or self-improvement. And I also put 2 career videos that you usually don't see anywhere else. Basically, I try on the Instagram platform to put the shorties, like 1 minute to 5 minutes. Sometimes we put longer ones, 2 a day. Go out on that. So I'd love to get connected with you there. If you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, feel free to send me a connection request on LinkedIn. I always love to. I read your stuff. Like, I read the stuff in my LinkedIn feed. I want to see what you guys are talking about out there. If you wonder why I would want to be connected with, first off, I want to lend you my network. So I'm happy to have you leverage my network. I'm connected to a lot of people, but I look through my LinkedIn feed every day a couple or 3 times to see what people are talking about. And I would rather know what you're talking about. If you're going to give me your attention on a Thursday, I want to understand what issues you're facing, and I want to see what you got going on. I want to see where you're working at or what you're looking at. I want to see, what's important to you and what you're struggling with. And that's where I get my info. I said this on last Thursday's Instagram selfie video about the best people to listen to, and it's not your competition. I don't pay any attention to what any of the other career coaches are doing other than the complaints I get in my email inbox from people like you telling me how disappointed you were in some other coach. And then, why didn't you find me sooner kind of thing. I was like, I understand you tell me what the problems are. I come every week, you tell me what the problems are. right? So for you guys, listen to your customers, listen to your community, listen to your teammates, those kind of things. Okay? Really, for real. All right, hey, speaking of, could you guys indulge me? Because we are going to kick into another hour here. I got 2 things I want to share with you. Speaking of the chat, last week after the show, and I don't get to see the whole chat until the show's over. So I go through the chat. I try to answer as many questions as I can. If you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, your questions get weaved in to a common chat that I can see on YouTube and in my streaming software. So I try to answer as many as I can. At the end of that, I look into the chat and I see what else you guys were asking me, because sometimes those become topics. But last week, what was really nice, and thank my team for pointing this out to me, is you guys had some questions about the job search bootcamp and the leadership program, and I realized that not everybody is really familiar with me or with my free offerings or with my premium offerings. And so because I mentioned a little earlier about all the live coaching that I have going on over the next month and the special that we have going on this week, and you're not going to see me next Thursday unless you're in the job search bootcamp, I want to show you 2 things really quickly just so you understand where you are in your careers and how I might be able to help you on the deepest level. But one thing I absolutely need to share with you is a piece of motivation from one of my boot campers, Jamie, who got in the program and within under 30 days got a brand new job. She is 74 we had 3 74-year-olds get jobs within the last 2-3 weeks. And I want to show this to you. And it is a message from her. Jamie, 74. She found me on I think it was on YouTube. And she said, Andy, in talking with one of the senior talent acquisition managers, so she already got this job at Verizon, today I found out 35,000 people nationwide applied for this customer service role. And I want Jamie to feel pretty good about herself, and I think the TA person wanted her to as well. She said, I know I could not have done it without you, and this I love. I can never repay you or say thank you enough for bolstering the sagging confidence of a 74-year-old. She worked in a rough environment, but this is a woman who got in the program, ran through the stuff, came to a few of the live shows that we had going on while she had just recently enrolled, and within weeks got her job, posted it up on the Facebook groups and on YouTube and in the LinkedIn group. And this email she sent me yesterday, because she's getting ready. They're setting up the infrastructure in her house, and she is absolutely over the moon. And so I want this to serve as inspiration for all of you who are telling me I'm too old, ageism is insurmountable, all that stuff. Yeah, ageism is a thing, but it's not insurmountable if you know what to do and how to do it. And it doesn't matter if you're 35 or 75. I can't get over how many folks in their 70s are in the boot camp, and don't even get me started on the folks in their 60s and their 50s. So I hope this serves as a message to you. So what did she do? Well, she actually, this is the program that she enrolled in. The boot camp I mentioned to you. Actually, let me swap this over and get me the right thing. That's not the one. But the job search boot camp. This is my job search program. So if you are job searching and you need help, it's on special for the next 7 days. But if you get in this week, if you're really smart, you'll get in today, because then you can go through the program and show up next Thursday when we kick off this blitz of seven coaching sessions, and you'll know what questions to ask me. But it's a great program. This is the program she's in. There are loads of testimonials. I'm not going to go through all this stuff. I wanted to show you this for context. There's 5 major sections. It's everything you could ever need at any stage, at any time, for anybody, anywhere, any gender, any age, any country, any situation. It's all in there. You get lifetime access. You get support with me. So every single day, twice a day, I go into the system and I answer people's questions inside the system. And you get lifetime support and all the additional coaching sessions that you can come to. So these 7 sessions that we're doing between now and Thanksgiving, but I'm going to do 33 or 4 of these this year. So every year I advertise that I'll do at least 24. You could come to those forever. So people that had gotten in the boot camp a couple of years ago that were strolling right along who lost their jobs. We had a number of people lose their jobs. They were in the hospitality space. There were others that were in industry airlines that were hit hard. All they did was they jumped right back in the boot camp, and a number of them have already gotten new jobs. So it's a great insurance policy. It's really, really something else. This woman, Rachel, she moved countries. There are everything you need. So I was referring back to Laura Cobb and telling her to go back to the beginning, to do some self-awareness stuff and really take a look at what it is you do, what it is you want to do, what it is you need, whether you're going to be successful, how to position yourself, and all that good stuff. Marketing is all the resume stuff, the LinkedIn stuff. Searching is how do you bring yourself to market. This is the most uncomfortable of aspects. All the interviewing and negotiation stuff, and there is a look inside video. So if you want to see inside, but I would check this out. I've personally written the networking templates, 10 of them for you. I've copywritten them, so I don't just tell you the kinds of things to say. I tell you what to say specifically. This alone, I get emails every day from people asking me if they can just buy that, and it's not sold separately. Career changers, executives, and so on. So I'll leave you with this. These are the dates coming up, and if you can't make them all, that's okay. We record it for you. There's different packages. You can check those out. And if you are in the programs, but you're not a boot camper, but you're in my job searching programs, we do have a trade up program. I have a video out there that answers a lot of questions that you might have. There's tons of testimonials, video testimonials, written testimonials, and every imaginable situation that you have, I can point you to somebody or many people in the program that had the same problems you did. And I can probably zip out their success stories within an email. So it's really, really great stuff. Now tomorrow, I have this program. This program is for people who have their jobs or are looking to amp up their career or improve from a self-help standpoint. This is my leadership coaching. It's similar in nature as it relates to the structure. However, this is a subscription. You can enroll on a monthly basis or an annual basis, but think career development here and improving of your life. We cover everything from habits, focus, confidence, communication, listening, energy, all that stuff. And tomorrow we have a session on how to actually communicate effectively to inspire. So it's really a lot of fun. People from all over the world. This is the orientation week and what we give you. There's also some branding stuff in there and some goal setting stuff. You can check that out. But I wanted to make mention of this because a lot of you have asked me, well, hey, which program is right for me? If you're job searching, the Job Search Bootcamp is right for you. It's a one-time enrollment. You get it for life. You get coaching for life, attendance at the coaching sessions, and you get online support for life. So people go in there and they ask me their questions about their job. Like, hey, I'm having a problem. So that's the Job Search Bootcamp. If you want to elevate your game, that is a subscription program, my Leadership Monthly program. We meet literally every 4 weeks. We happen to be meeting tomorrow, and tomorrow's topic is on communication. So how do you send your message, whether it's an email, an agenda, a calendar invite, opening remarks? How do you actually speak with somebody to inspire them? Do you know how to prime what it is you're going to tell them so that they are emotionally in the state of mind that you want them in? Do you know how to frame what you're saying so that you can move their belief template? You can get them to interpret things the way you need them to interpret them. That's something that is not easy to do. So that's what we're talking about tomorrow. If you're interested in something like that, even if you can't make the session, you get the replay. It's really, really a sweet deal. You try it out for a month. And there's some great bonuses, but check out the pages. I appreciate all those questions you guys asked me last week. And I didn't even see them. And then Karen and Stacy at the end, they mentioned, hey, you might want to just share that, especially with everything we have coming up. And I really hope you check it out because it's a great time. And one other thing I will tell you, most of you are reacting to opportunities that you might be surfacing or might not be surfacing, and when something comes up, you react. Positioning yourself properly takes time. You need to be able to assess where you want to go, target the right places. If you do surface an interview by your own means or somebody else's, or somebody reaches out to you, you need to know instantly how to evaluate it. These things don't happen overnight. And I know I get a lot of messages from people who say, hey, I got an interview coming up. Can I have a coaching session? I don't even know them. I don't know what they've done. I don't know if they're in the right situation. And most of those we just turn away. We don't help them because I'm concerned about what they haven't done to properly position themselves. So it takes time. So make sure that you are putting it in, and you'll get to the right place, just like Jamie did. It's really something. I mean, it's pretty awesome. All right, let's get back to your questions. And any of the boot campers, I know Beth said something there very nice a few minutes ago, and any of you guys want to share your experiences, please do. I think it goes a long way in helping the other people who might be on the fence. Connie Mack, how you doing? From Colorado? Bonnie? Kristen, how you been? Yes, it is Friday Eve. Oh, man, good to see you. Hope you're well. Oh, let me see if I can flap this up over. Gloria, is it Gloria? Yes. All right. Hey, Gloria, how you doing? Brandon, the detail guy, great to see you. Talat, how are you? It's been a long time, huh? From LinkedIn. Attilia, Tom Phillips, Manicandon? Is that how you say it? Good evening to you. Don Scott, how are you? Mr. Ladouce. Sam, hey to you. Sandro. Alvin. Dan, my all-around great dude. Eric, Marlene. Michael Crowley from Downers Grove. Hey, buddy, when things are a little safer, we're going to have a Chicago meetup as soon as I can invite an unlimited number of people. Hopefully you can come. Mike, Linda, Stacy's with me. Always. Heidi. Joseph, my boot camper. Catherine, how are you? Get on LinkedIn. Elements Yoga. C. Young, first time up. Okay, wait. All right, here we go. Mr. Ladouce. First time applying for a management position. How do I gear my resume in that fashion? So, when you are interviewing for any kind of position that you haven't necessarily done yet, the good news, so this advice is for anybody in that situation. The good news for you, I'm going to make the assumption that you are going in an elevated fashion along the same lines, and you're just going into a managerial position. For example, when I started as a 21-year-old kid, I developed software, like literally coded it. And then I started to design the software, and then I turned my designs over to somebody who coded it. Then what I did was I became a team leader, and then I became a project manager. I started managing more and more people. That's a straight line in elevating a career, and it was just a matter of, at some point, I started to manage people. I'm assuming that that's what you are doing, and it might just be that you are either interviewing internally or you are interviewing externally, but you are going along the same lines. You're not making a career change. If you want to interview for a management position and you want to apply and you've never managed people, the best way to get that job is through networking. So that somebody who's looking for an up-and-comer, so to speak, or maybe somebody who hasn't done the job, but somebody can vouch for their prowess or how effective they are, that's going to be your best way. If you are going to go into the applicant trashing system and apply for a management position where you have no management experiences, I can all but guarantee you that you're not going to get a call back. Okay? That's the cold, hard truth. Now, I don't want you going sticking your resume in the applicant tracking system and wondering why you're not getting calls. So that's my sentiment on that. However, if I was wanting to style my resume, like what you're asking me, I would be talking about what goes along with the effective ability to manage people. Who make the best managers? These are the kind of questions you need to ask yourself, anybody, when you are going in. Doesn't matter what, even if you're going to just switch jobs. What kind of people make the best business analysts? What kind of people make the best project managers? What kind of people make the best managers of people? What kind? The kind who know what? How to serve their customers, how to put plans together that can manage workloads, right? The kinds that interact effectively with their teammates, right? Those kinds of, it's just an example, and there are many of them. Your demeanor and disposition, your communication skills, your leadership skills. Leadership does not mean I had to manage a team of 50 people. I know a lot of people manage a lot of people that are really bad leaders. Leadership is about inspiring. Leadership is about getting others to do something better than they otherwise would have done without your facilitation. You could be serving a customer, a vendor, a whoever, and leading them and inspiring them. You could be motivating your teammates. So you want to bring forward in your resume those kind of things, your influencing skills, your interaction skills, your organizational skills, and so on. And the more outside service that you can highlight, the better. So that's what I would do there. And I think that that's sorry folks, I don't know how that happened. I think that that's a great message for all of you as you're filling in your resume. When it just doesn't matter if you're a salesperson, accountant, whatever, marketer, and you're just going for another position with a different company. What kind of people make the best whatevers? Google it, right? Figure out what those traits are. Look at job descriptions, see what they're calling for, right? That kind of stuff, make sure it's there. All right, that's great. That's a great question. Mike Lowry, how you doing? What the hell time is it by you? Boy, I don't know what is up with my, hang on a second. Let me shut something down. There we go. End tab. All right. End tab. Hit a wall. Done boss hunting with no replies. Work in fashion industry and too many companies have folded. Cannot think of another industry that I would love to pivot to. What do you recommend? Okay, wait. There's two big problems there. So when you all are doing anything related to your search, first thing, end tab, have you actually analyzed why you're not getting responses to your boss hunting cover letters? Number one, if you all don't know what he or she's referring to, go to my YouTube channel and type boss hunt and some videos will come up and templates and other things. First thing is your resume in order? And are you identifying the right companies? And are you identifying the right people? And is your message good? Right? You have to go through a pecking order of things that you need to evaluate to know whether that, maybe it's just that your messaging is poor. There's about 7 or 8 things that you need to do. So you need to go through that. And one thing I would recommend is I have a video on my YouTube channel about the job search challenge. I no longer offer the 5-day program for free, but I have a video that's out there that's about a half an hour, maybe a little longer, that takes you through what my challenge is and what issues you are likely to face. And check that out because that will help you troubleshoot. So that's the first thing. So don't abandon plan A if it's that mechanically you're doing something wrong. If you don't, the only time I ever recommend abandoning something is if you don't love it. Meaning I'm in a job type or style or career and I can't seem to get a job in that career. There's always jobs. Or there's at least ways to stay close to it. And so that's the first thing that I would do. I would never switch unless you want to switch. If you're tired of it and you want to move to something else, that's cool. All right, but I wouldn't just abandon that. All right, but let's just say, sake of argument, that you want to do that, that you actually, that everything that you do is in order, which I would actually find hard to believe, but let's just say benefit of the doubt for purposes of illustration. If you wanted to move from the fashion industry, now I don't know what you do in the fashion industry. I don't know if you're designing clothing. I don't know if you're in retail and you're selling it. I'm not sure what it is. And I would recommend you go to different industries depending on what your function is. Remember this. When you make a change, the less change in the change, the more effective the change and the faster the change will be. All right, if you don't have no idea what I just said, hell, I'm not even sure I know what I just said. Think about this. I'm in an industry, okay? So I'm in the fashion. Folks, hold on a second. I've got something that keeps flashing in front of my screen. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure that. Okay, I think that's good. Sorry about that. All right. The less change in the change, the more effective the change. So what are the things you can change? Well, I'm in the fashion industry. I'm in retail sales. Okay? So I work for I'm in this industry. I do this type of function for this type of company, right? So I'm in fashion. I work for Nordstrom and I sell men's clothing. That's what I do. I'm a salesperson. Okay, well, you could go to another department store and sell men's clothing. You could go to another department store and sell women's clothing or shoes or bags or whatever, right? So the less change in the change, so you're not really changing a lot. All right, now, I'm in the fashion industry. I work for Nordstrom's and I sell men's suits, clothing, right? Okay. What if I said to you, hang on, I want to go and have you, I'm me, I want to sell still, but I just don't want to be in fashion or retail. Okay, you can go to pharmaceuticals or something like that. So you want to try to keep your levers you want to change as few of these things as possible. Here's another thing you can do. Some of you are in a company, maybe you're, say, a project manager in a company and you want to be a product manager. And a lot of times what you do is you try to look outside the company when the best thing that you can do is look inside the company. So you're changing roles, but you're not changing this. So I'll be a product manager for my organization because I know my company, I know the location, I know the people, I know the industry and all that good stuff. So I'm just changing roles. The less things you have to learn, the easier it is to make the pivot. So that's a process you can use, NTAB. And I also have a video on that. Stacy, it's on the YouTube channel, and it's fastest way to make a career change. And I take you through that process. So I would check that out. So NTAB, you need to go evaluate your boss hunting skills. You need to check out the job search challenge. You need to go check out my career changer playlist and make sure the first thing you watch is the fastest way to make a career change. So how about that? All right, I hope that helps. All right, let me see. Maxim, how you doing, my man? Maxim's a boot camper in Germany, got a new job. Congrats to you, buddy. I hope you're loving it. And a leader, mind you. William, how you doing? Advice on potential landmines, taking over a low morale R&D enterprise to streamline and retool the future. 5 PMs. Look at this guy. Admin support and dozens of R&D SMEs. I love this. Okay. This is common, right? You're a senior guy like William. You get hired to come in and take over a unit that is in bad shape, underperforming. The boss was a jerk and they fired him or her, right? That kind of stuff. First thing that I do is I think about all of the elements that would enable me to develop the best relationships with the people I'm going to support, right? Let's assume I'm a servant leader, right? Hopefully you're a servant leader, William. So when I go in, the first thing that I do is I say, okay, have the team meeting. I get them all there. Get them all onto Zoom. Hey, everybody, I'm excited to be here. And, I want to, share a little bit about me, but most importantly, I want to hear from you, what's working, what isn't. And let's talk about, where we're going to go together. and just a little get to know them and let them talk. Let them talk. Okay, so as a group, what's been working? As a group, what hasn't been working? Right? Let me understand this. And really, I just want to take in this insight. I, of course, have ideas, opinions, techniques, experience. That's why I was hired. But most importantly, you've been here, you work here. Let me know. Do it in a group format. Okay? It's really powerful. Get them talking. Okay? All right. Then, what I'd like to do after the group session is I'd like to meet with each one of you. And now you could do that a couple ways. If there's, I don't know how many people this is in total, right? You said dozens. You don't have to meet with 36 people individually. Meet with all your direct reports, say the 5 PMs. They each get a one-on-one session. Tell me about you. How do you like to work? What's working for you? What would make this enjoyable? What career aspirations do you have? How can I support you? Go through the checklist, right? Just go, go, go. Get it, right? Get it what they need. All right, now your team. You're managing a team. What do you think your team needs? And so on. Then you go, you meet with the team, not the manager, just the team, right? Let the team talk. How's this going? What do you like about working with Joey? This and that. Like, you have to have these individual sessions as you build out this team, because what you're really doing is operating teams, because you're building morale with them, and you need to understand what motivates them. Leaders build more leaders. They don't build more followers. The best leaders, right, get the entire team operating at the highest level as a unit. And in order to do that, each individual person needs to be operating at peak performance. And in order to do that, the motivation that you need to give them and the handling of them is unique to the person. So while you have protocols and processes that overarch the unit, each person is handled different, not special treatments. I'm talking about, right, this one needs a kick in the butt. This one needs a hug. This one needs a pat on the back, right? It's like the 5 love languages for your PMs. So it's that kind of stuff. And so wait, that's to improve, right, your relationships. Now, when you talk about landmines, that's the stuff you should have been evaluating before you even got into the role, right? The red flag stuff. I think you're a boot camper. I'm pretty sure you are. But like the stuff that you need to ask yourself, all the red flag stuff, all the things that need to be in order. But the first thing that I would do is I would get to know these people, and I would get the information from them firsthand directly. And then I would make my calls from there. But I would meet with all my direct report. I would meet with everybody as a group. I would meet with my direct reports maybe even as a group, and then individually. Then I would meet with the groups themselves. So you might, if it's a dozen at a time, then that's okay. But at least meet with them and listen to just that group. So it's effective. It really is. Lots of luck on this. I think you're going to do great. I really do. Jason Ritchie from Spain, but you're Dutch, I think. Miss Marie from London. Yes, you are a proud boot camper. How you doing from the other side of the pond? Thomas Gilbert, who is on LinkedIn. Been a while since following, but thanks for you are welcome. Celebrating 1 year in the new job. Love it. Clary, how we doing on time? Okay, wait, we're coming up on noon. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. If you're loving this, hit the thumbs up button. If you are on the fence on the boot camp, check it out. If you want to come to the leadership thing tomorrow, check that out. Make sure you grab Interview Intervention. We give that away to anybody in the world if you chip in a few bucks for the envelope and the warehouse guys. And let's start the last half hour with Mike. Did a phone interview, went well, completed the test they asked for, which was due Monday. Should I follow up or wait to hear back? All right, I love this. Okay, Mike, that's awesome. After the phone interview, I would have sent a thank you email to them. Follow-up protocols. It's a real quick answer. 2 parts to this answer. What is it that you need to get, and when is it you should follow up? So first thing is there's 3 pieces of information you have to get at the end of every interview. What's the next step? Who's going to contact me, and by when? What's the next step? Who's going to contact me, and by when? Why do you need to know all these? So that you know how long to wait. Because how long to wait is predicated on when they said they get back to you. If they say, I'll get back to you tomorrow, I'm going to go and talk to the recruiter. I don't know when the recruiter's going to get back to you, okay? Maybe you send an email thank you to the recruiter. When are you going to get back to me? I'll get back to you tomorrow. If they don't get back to you tomorrow, you call them the next day. You don't have to wait 7 days. So you want to make sure that you have some kind of idea. Hey, I'm Andy. I just work here. I don't know when they're going to call you, Mike. I just, I don't know. Okay, what would normally be the process? What's typical? You interview people, right? What do they usually do next? Oh, well, next the recruiter will call you, and then since I just did a phone screen, then they're gonna have you talk to the hiring official. Okay, great. Thanks. Email the recruiter. Hey, Mike. I had a great interview with Ann. Just wanted to reach back. Wanted to know what the next steps are. Want to know when you're gonna. I'm assuming who's gonna get back to me. I'm assuming that's you. And when do you think that will be? Right? You gotta ask all that stuff. Now, if you didn't talk to anybody, like if you didn't ask that of anybody, when you send the thank you email, you should be copying the recruiter. Always. Send it to whoever did the phone interview. If it was the recruiter, you send it to the recruiter. If it was somebody else, you send it to that person and you copy the recruiter. Then what you can do is you can say, hey, as you can see, I sent a thank you message to so-and-so. Just wanted to find out. Had a great discussion. Really looking forward to it. Wonder what the next steps would be. If you have any idea when that might be, what they would be, about how long does it take. Any insight you can give me would be helpful. Just anything that you can do to get some kind of insight. If they do not say anything, like if it's like, I don't know, I just work here, right? If no one gets back to you, I would wait a week. If no one gets back to you, just remember this. If you have an interview, okay, I'm like, this is cold hard fact. If you have an interview, phone call or otherwise, Zoom or in person, and they do not get back to you within 7 days, that is an awful sign. Awful. Because there should be some form of communication. The companies who are awesome to work for, they say, hey, Mike, this is great. You know what? We got a couple other candidates in the process. We're trying to get them scheduled. We should have them scheduled within the week. And then what we're going to do is once we go through the first round with everybody, then we're going to contact the people that we want to continue with. Okay. If a week goes by and I'm the recruiter, I will call you, email you, or whatever and say, hey, Mike, we're still working on it. Looks like it's going to be this week. I'll get back to you Monday. Right? That's the kind of communication you're looking for. And don't worry, I'm already appalled. I know what you're going to say. Well, we never get called back. Like, that's awful. I want you to know that that's actually awful. And you're thinking, well, isn't that just a courtesy? Right. That's right. You're sane because you're normal, well-adjusted human beings. But that's companies that are doing, I don't care how busy they are. It takes you almost no time to send a 3-second email, right, that says, hey, I'm still trying to get that scheduled. I'll get back to you in a week. Right? Like this how hard is that? Right, it's not. That's why I make sense and what's going through your head makes sense too. All right, I hope that helps. Can you tell I get really upset when companies behave that way? Eric Anderson, how you doing from Virginia? My latte's gone. All right, Alex. Andy, I have an interview Tuesday. In the past, I've been told I'm too professional and too serious. Should I laugh? You cannot possibly be too serious. I am a nice girl. I love this. Oh my God. Look at that nice picture. Come on, man. All right. So Alex the serious. Alex, you know what is the fastest way to eliminate that? This. Just smile. Be you, okay? I mean, really, all of you. I don't want you to change. I want you to behave professionally. I want you to have ethics. I want you to go unprepared. I want you to do all that stuff. But I don't want you to be fake, okay? Now, and here's what's really interesting, Alex. Somebody's going to say you're too professional and you're too serious, and you're going to go into some company and you're going to not be you, and they're going to say you weren't professional enough. This happens, right? Like, it drives you nuts. So I would just say, keep the glow, keep the smile, and, just be you. It will work out fine. Yes, you should laugh. I think I think everything in life is funny. I think every single thing is fun. I do. I'm dealing with some rough issues right now, and I'm just focused on the challenge. I'm focused on all I'm learning. I think everything my dogs do is funny. I think everything my wife does is funny. That's just me. I have fun at these live shows. I mean, look for the joy in it. Really, you'll do fine. That's a hard one. It really is. But just smile, please. Andrew, are you sure that your advices are relevant outside the U.S.? Not only am I sure, but I've got hundreds of testimonials from people outside the U.S. We have more than 100 countries represented in the Job Search Bootcamp. Every inhabited continent, we have customers. I get emails every day from people who say it works. Now, are there alterations you need to make? Perhaps based on your country? Sure. If you're in Germany, put your damn picture on your resume. When I would tell you in the U.S., unless you're going for a modeling agency job, don't, right? Like kind of thing. So it's a resounding yes. If you want, check out the Job Search Bootcamp page and look at the testimonials, or check the emails that I send you. But yes, I mean, the answer is yes. That's a yes or no answer, and the answer is yes. Or yes or no question, I should say. All right. Hey, Shirajit, is that it? Mandy Brown, I had a recruiter call me today and ask about my salary requirements. Really glad I knew what to say. She ended up giving me a range rather than, oh, this is awesome. Hold on. Mandy Brown, thank you for this. Okay, folks. All right. The Andy LaCivita School of Negotiating. The Chris Voss School of Negotiating as well. If you don't know who Chris Voss is, he wrote a book called, there it is sitting on my shelf, Never Split the Difference, Negotiate as if your life depended on it. He'll tell you the same thing I'm going to tell you. You don't talk turkey until you show your value, right? So when some recruiter says, Mandy Brown, how much money you want? There's absolutely no context or any sane number that you can give him or her that is going to do you any good at that point. Where your stock is the lowest, you have shown nothing, no value at all, zero. You have zero value. So whatever you say is going to be too much for me. So I put a video out in 2018 about the best answer to what's your expected salary. Okay? It's a very popular video. I would recommend you watch that video. And in that video, I give you the script I would use if a recruiter asks me. Now, that video has millions, a million, 1.5 million, 1.6 million, I don't know, it's a lot, maybe 2 million views. And because it has so many views, I got a lot of thousands of questions. So what I did was I released another video about that in February of 2020. So 8 months ago, whatever it was, 8 months ago, where I recapped the previous video, but I also gave you answers to some of the questions that I got from the previous video. And one of those questions, and I know a lot of you face this, when it's, oh, the recruiter's just turning red. They're just inflamed. I'm seeing them, or I can hear the fumes coming through my phone, right? Like, okay, in that case, right, if you're really uncomfortable, then you turn it back to them and you say, well, money's just one component. I want to, learn about what it is you want me to do, what I get to do, who I get to do it with. You saw Jamie's testimonial, $48,000 free Jack Welch program that they tossed in for her, right? That matters to people. Okay, maybe it's an extra week of vacation, maybe whatever, all right? If they're inflamed and they absolutely need a number, if they're getting red, if they're getting upset, it's because they need to check a box to say, oh, well, I was told I can't hire anybody too high or this and that. Well, first off, the recruiter doesn't know anything about what they're actually going to pay you. I know there are some recruiters out there and you're going to tell me, yeah, I have the authority. Most of you do not, and they do not, and they don't know what ultimately will come out at the end. So for you, if you need the recruiter to check the box, the best thing you can do is say, okay, well, you obviously have some number in mind or a range. Why don't you just share that with me and I'll let you know if it's okay. And then whatever the range is, unless it is grossly out of bounds, then I would say okay and just move forward and then haggle it out at the end. Now, my Beth Travert, I don't know if you're still here. Beth was saying she's in the boot camp and she said that they gave her a range. She used my little script from Instagram or whatever. I must have clipped something out and put it on Instagram, meaning Stacy must have clipped something out and put it on Instagram. And I probably said something like just turn it on to them and ask them for a salary range. Now, it matters if you really like the company and you really like the role, because if you think that it's too low, it might behoove you to continue on anyway. Let me give you a story. So there's this woman, her name was Karen. She's in the boot camp. Actually, she doesn't come to sessions anymore. She's in her new job, and she's actually been in her new job almost 2 years. So 2 Decembers ago, she said, Annie, can I have a coaching call? She worked for Cisco, okay, hardware, was managing a territory, and wanted to move into software as a service, smaller box stuff, and she wanted to get back into software, okay, not hardware, meaning she was making a change. And she was really, she had a great job, made a lot of money and all that good stuff, but she really wanted to make this change. So she calls me, she says, I had the first interview. They told me the salary, it was like $70,000 less than I make. What do I do? So, do you want the job? She said, yeah. So, okay. So we worked the interview process, and I'm going to make this really fast. $70,000 light. Worked the interview process. She finishes first, she finishes soonest, meaning they're interviewing candidates. She's all done. They're got some trailers. They said, we really like you. Now they're interviewing people that are more junior, that cost less than she costs. She's Annie. They want to know. I was like, hey, hold your ground. Don't tell them not to. You'll wait it out. Let them finish interviewing the other people, okay? Because you just stand still and you're going to start to look better, and then we'll see how it goes. Sure enough, they want to hire her. They give her the offer, $70,000 light. We scripted this up. We knew what she was going to get. We knew this was coming. I said, here's what you do. You tell them, no, I'm firm, and if you'd like, since I'm so firm and so confident, if you would prefer to try to continue to recruit for other people to try to match what it is you're willing to pay, I'm okay, I'll wait. We had a whole script for this. They say this, you say that, they say this, you say that, kind of thing. Sure enough, the recruiter says, okay, well, I'll get back to you. Recruiter goes, they got the $70,000 that she was light, right? There you go, $70,000 more. Where'd they get the $70,000? What do you care, right? They decided we will figure this out because she's the right person. So these positions that were going to start in March will now start in June. There you go, $70,000. I don't need those people. I need her more, kind of thing. We just had another boot camper, $300,000 raise. Makes $300,000, now that makes $600,000. You never know what they're willing to pay. Literally $300,000, $600,000, right? So how about that ROI? Paid $500 for the boot camp and a few coaching sessions and made $300,000 more. I'm not pulling these numbers out of my caboose, folks. This stuff really happens. So all of you that are snickering out there like, no, there's a market pay for this. No, there isn't. That stuff is up here in your head. So trust me, there's plenty of dollars in the world. There really is. So Mandy, that's a great one. And I'm glad that you teed that up. And I'm glad that at least I got to share those stories with you guys. I'm telling you this stuff, really, you do not know what that company is willing to pay you for that job on that day, right? So that's why you need to show your value, and it's also why you need to understand their mentality and their mindset. Have they been looking for a really long time? Have they been trying to hire people on the cheap and it isn't working? Just because they tell you they only want to pay $100,000 doesn't mean they're going to pay $100,000. Haggle it out at the end. So then it becomes a question of your time. Okay, so it's, well, I don't know that I want to risk spending all that time with that company. Well, here's what I would tell you. If you're unemployed, it's worth your time. Doesn't make any difference. I don't care. Every time you say yes to something, you say no to something else. You say yes to every opportunity that comes your way, and you get in there and you figure it out. Okay, if you got a full-time job and you're traveling all over the place and you can't really kick tires with a company that's coming in at $100,000 less, then no, then don't. But most of you are not in that position. I think most of you are here with me today because you would be open to checking it out and kicking the tires. And I encourage you to do that. All right, I know I really went on that one. All right, Mandy, hope that helped and hope that helped y'all. LinkedIn user, don't know what your name is. I got through the interviews, but the HR told me they think I will leave in a few months. I think they felt so because I am accepting a little less in my fixed pay. Oh, I love this. I wish I knew who this was. Stacy, the video on do you let your experiences inform you or confine you? Can we get that in the chat? It's the one from Jason, the boot camper, asked me the question, right? They gave him this exact nonsense. So can we get, is it right? Right? Do you let your experiences inform you or confine you? I'm pretty sure that's the title. It's on YouTube. Okay, LinkedIn user. For all of you guys, don't mind that little exchange between me and Stacy. I just wanted her to get a video that exactly answers this question. It literally is this question. So but I do want to talk about this for a few minutes. When you are accepting a little less than what you had, the response is, I join a company, I do not join a job. Okay? I look at things holistically. Here's my pecking order of priorities. This, money. This. Okay? Like, this is where money fits. It's 7th on my ranking list. And the reason that I'm okay with this is because this is the way I look at the world. And it's more important for me to join a great organization, of which yours is. And here's why I want to be here. And I'm supremely confident in my ability to perform effectively, and I'm trusting you that based on when you see that performance, you are going to elevate my pay to what you think is appropriate based on the value I'm going to contribute. But to put the cherry on top, okay, what I would say to you is, if you're concerned that I'm going to leave, I'm assuming that you're concerned because maybe somebody else did this to you, right? Did somebody else do that to you? Is that where that's coming from? And if they say no, well, first off, they won't, because their experiences confined them. It didn't inform them. What their experience should do, if somebody jilts them, is they should learn from it and do some self-reflection about why that happened in the first place. Like, what could I have done to detect that that person might leave after a short period of time, right? If somebody leaves the Mile Walk Academy, it is my fault that I did not better screen them. Okay? It is not their fault that they came and left, right? That was their choice. It was not their fault. Okay? So I, as an employer, I, as an interviewer, I, as a hirer, have to look at myself and say, what could I have noticed, detected, and so on. Now, if they say, well, we tried to hire somebody else who accepted a little less, and then they left after a few weeks, I guarantee you, they didn't leave because they made a little less money. It was something else. Their criteria wasn't in order or whatever, or they didn't really love the job. So you have to impress upon them what you need to explain your rationale in these situations. I'm okay with you having to explain yourself here. But you could also say to them, hey, I'd be happy to discuss if you feel that I'm leaving. I'm assuming that after what I just shared with you, if you're still reluctant, I'm assuming that something must have happened to you that makes you feel this way. Would you like to speak about that? And ask them to share it. And then you poke holes at their theory there as well. That's for good measure. That's not the first thing you do. You don't say to them, why do you think that? You reiterate why you're going to stay. Then you say, did something happen? And so on. And then you squash that too. Okay, it's very important that you do that. The double whammy there. That's great. Great. I love that question. All right, C. Young. Morning, Andrew. I started working part-time. A Go firm. I'm not sure what that is. I started working part-time. My former colleague opened for a firm my colleague opened last year. She was the one who called me up to go in to help. She mentioned that it could turn into full-time. I'm not sure what the question is. Oh, wait. But I see that the company is hiring for a position similar to what I do. I feel, as another colleague said, that the company is expanding. I see it as a threat. How should I approach this? See young, head on. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you. Go in and just say, hey, I want to express my interest in this. I noticed. Like, call it out. I noticed there's this position. I want you to know I'm interested in that position, or I'm whatever, and let them. By the way, there is absolutely no problem with the company doing that. If you are there on a part-time basis and they want to post a role, they can do that, right? I would do that in many regards. So, I mean, if somebody was just working on a part-time or a contract basis, I might want to look at all the candidates that I could. I'm sure, Stacy and Carol, no, I'm just kidding. I love you both. But I would do that. And so for you, I would just go at it head on. Hey, I'm interested. Want to know, do you see me as a long-term fit? I'm interested. I feel I'd be a great match because, and I'll tell you, there's absolutely no one is going to get a better interview than you have, right? I mean, you're there every day, or you're there at least on some frequent on a part-time basis. So they're seeing your work firsthand. So that's what I would do. Judy Meyer, how you doing? Catherine, I've been a reception in the UK for 20 years, over 20 years. Reception jobs are on hold. Do you think I should change jobs to a PA or something in admin? Not sure what the future holds. Okay, two things. So Catherine, if you enjoy what you're doing, you stay in the lane. Right? So if you've been a receptionist, I'm guessing that you've got good organizational skills, you got good phone skills, you got a number of other things that would go along very nicely with administrative assistance, office management, those kinds of things. And I would be looking at any and all of those, and I would be networking like crazy. And if you've got 20 years of experience, I know you know a lot of people. So I would get on the horn, and I would not worry. There are companies need people like you. They really do. Now, I do have a video out there that's quite, I put out a long time ago. For all of you like Catherine who are in office administration, administrative assistants, and those kinds of roles, I have a video about how to put statistics when you're an admin. Just search my site for admin, and it'll come up, admin and statistics, and it'll come up. But good luck there. I think you're going to do great. I really do. Eric, Andrew, any insight on simulation interviews where you work in a simulated environment for 3 to 4 hours? This is great. I don't. I don't. There's not anything that I would tell you about this particular situation other than it's a 3 to 4 hour interview. So it's all those interview videos that I have out there about, figuring out how you would do, what you would do, explaining your methodology, explaining your framework. You'll do that, right? Here's how I would approach this. Here's how I would do this. Here's how And I know I'm going to do it this way because this is what I learned. This is how I did it in the past. Here's what I learned. I can see here, these are the adjustments I need to make, and so on. Okay? This is, whether you're doing it or talking about it doesn't make any difference. It's the same stuff. All right. Okay, wait. Couple of announcements, then I'm going to answer some more questions. The Job Search Bootcamp is on special till next Thursday. If you are going to get in, don't wait. Get in, go through it so you can come to the private coaching October 22nd, October 30th, November 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 25th with all your questions. It's really the best way. And then think about how well positioned you are going to be for the most prime months to search. November, December, January, February. All right? So get on that. You got an email from me this morning and I think yesterday with the concepts I'm teaching tomorrow about communication. That's in my leadership coaching. So that's career development and high performance and self-help and living the good life kind of stuff. That's tomorrow. And so you can that's a subscription. You can try that for a month, or you can try that for a year, or you can try it for a month and go month to month. It's more expensive that way, but you try it out. You can see what's inside, see how much you love it. And if you want to cut over to the year, you do that too. That's tomorrow. So I hope that helps. If you do not, okay, the books, these guys, both, you can have them for a lot less money than you can get them on Amazon. This book here, if you just ordered the ebook on Amazon, it's $8.99. Okay? For $7, I'll ship this $30 book anywhere in the world. You get the ebook, the audiobook, and a bonus workbook, how to interview the employer, 75 great questions to ask before you take any job. That's also $27. So for $7, it's like the envelope and the service guys. They're very nice guys in McHenry, Illinois, that shipped this out. Same deal here. If you go to Amazon, this book's like $9. The paperback or the ebook or something like that. Anyway, $7 anywhere in the world. Okay, head to the Mile Academy, click the buttons. Maybe the ladies are nice, they'll put the stuff in the chat. What do we got here? 220 some odd people. I don't know if that's all over the place, or maybe that's YouTube 260. Oh, that's pretty good. You guys are awesome. I thank you. You can't know how much I appreciate your attention, because I know that you're all busy. I know you're all stressed, right? This is stressful. Tell me this ain't stressful. There's like rare things in life that will stress you out more than job searching or trying to grow your career. I know it. That's why I show up for you every week. And you give me great stuff. You give me great stuff, meaning you give me great questions that gives us material that we use to help lots and lots of people. Do you know, okay, I know this, and I want to say this to you, and then I want to answer some more questions. I know this, that I say things, everything that comes out of my mouth, whether it gets recorded like this, or even not, even when I'm just saying it to somebody, one individual. It has a ripple effect that will do things, and it will echo in places that I will never hear, but I know it's making an impact. And I appreciate all the messages and the comments and the things you guys send me that let me know that I've touched your lives in a positive way. But I also want you to know that the same thing applies to you, whether it's through your friends, your bosses, your customers, your children, whatever, whoever it is, spouses, that the things that you say, they have ripple effects, both good and bad. All right? But also, one thing you probably have never thought about, okay? You probably haven't, is every question that you ask me here, we try to make live forever and ever. And we circulate it on it doesn't always go on YouTube, but it might go on Instagram, it might go on LinkedIn, it might go on Facebook. Never really goes on Twitter because they're too long. So they live out. That stuff ripples in places. The questions you just asked me about salaries and this and that, and people in companies who don't think that they think I'm going to leave too soon, all that stuff I try to make live on. So I value that, and I hope you value that what you ask me has a lot longer shelf life than the 3 minutes it takes me to answer it here. So I hope that puts some things in perspective for you. All right, what do we got here? Let's say I see Kara putting the boot camp link. Get in the boot camp. Get in the boot camp. It's the best $497 you will ever spend in your life. It will. Rasha, you're gonna crush it. Don't even be nervous. Mayor from down the block. How you doing, MCK? 777 Mammy from Ottawa. Got a lot of Canadian friends. Yes, Don Scott, my boot camper. Can we get a shout out for all you guys watching on LinkedIn and Facebook? Because I know it's like our little satellite office, and I know YouTube gets preferences here, but thanks for joining wherever you are. All right. Gates, how are you? Sherry Speckles. Sherry, can you... Okay, Sherry Speckles, my boot camper, true story, was out of work, okay? Gets in the boot camp, and within, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, goes through an interview, uses the techniques, goes through the process, gets her interviews, gets the job offer, and is, during one of our live shows with the private boot campers, she's asking me, because the employer is going to call her And in real time, we were going back and forth. And she already had a pretty decent raise already locked up with the offer that they gave her. But I helped her get an even better one real time. She got a 64.84% pay increase while she was out of work. So, Sherry, can you scream out for everybody the good fortune that you got through the program and how much fun and what a great story that is? Actually, I think we might have even slipped your email in one of the emails we're sending to the community. I couldn't make this stuff up, folks. I don't. It's like boot camp magic. It really, really is. Because the universe knows you're serious. All right, Danielle Phillips. Wait, I had around. Oh, wait, sorry, one of them. Danielle Phillips, I would like you to know that on the thumbnail on the video that I'm releasing on Tuesday, I have my coffee mug in front of my face, just like you do. All right, I had a round, 2 of 4. I had a round interview for a job that may require relocation. In the screen, I indicated that I was open to possibility. I love this. I was open to possibilities. When is the appropriate time to discuss? Okay, Stacy, can we get the video for Danielle about the costly salary mistake? Okay, so a couple of things. I'm gonna not ruin the surprise that Stacy's gonna get you all here in this video. But there is a very costly mistake, salary mistake, that you all make that you don't know you're making, and you would never know it until you hear what's about to come out of my mouth. And Danielle, don't worry, this applies directly to you, but I want to give context for everybody. Here's what happens. Danielle gets in an interview. Maybe it's the first interview, maybe it's the second interview. She knows that she's got 4, okay? Or however long it's going to be. And somewhere along the way, not at the end, but somewhere along the way, the employer makes a concession. They give you something along the way. Danielle, you got a really great background. You know, we'd like you to relocate, and would you be open to that? I'd be open to possibilities, Andy. I'd be happy to come to Chicago and work with you at Mile Walk. You know, Danielle, now that I think about it, I think we could probably let you work from home. Your answer is not, Andy, that's great, thank you. Your answer is, Andy, let's just keep it open. Let's just see how it goes. Why? Because if you say, hey, that's great, what did you do? You just accepted something that I offered you, which depletes your negotiating leverage at the end, right? You owe me. You are in the hole. You do never want to be in the hole. You want to go to the table at the end and ask for everything that you want. So Danielle, you probably guess where I'm going with this. Anything like this or anything of any kind. Let's just not talk about remote positions, vacation, the relo stipend, the 401k match. Anything that they do that is out of the norm, it's one thing for them to say, hey, Danielle, we have standard 4 weeks. Great to know. Thank you. We got 6% profit sharing match. Great. Thank you. That's nice to know. Healthcare, this is that, whatever. Okay. So, wait, you can't have healthcare for 3 months. You know, we're going to pay your Cobra for your other company for the 3. Don't take anything just yet. Okay. You want to wait all the way until the end. Why? So you can ask for everything at once. And you have a greater likelihood of getting a greater percentage of the things that you need when you batch it up at the end. But if you pick along the way, now you get down to the end, and if you come in and try to negotiate with me, I'm going to say, well, Danielle, I told you can work from home. I told you I was going to give you 10% more. I told you I was going to give you extra vacation. Like, you have nothing to ask for. And you've probably sold yourself short, and you didn't even know it. You thought I was being nice. And you were shooting yourself in the foot. I'm guessing, can I get a show of hands? How many of you would think that way? You need to push off everything, even the stuff they're giving you, to the end. Okay? Because the more you take, if you ask me for more at the end, I'm going to think you're a bum, right? Geez, that Danielle, she's a taker, man. I gave her everything along the way and she's still asking for more. When that's not you at all. But now that's mentally where I put you. So, The answer to your question is all the way at the end. All the way, sure, we'll figure it out. That's great to know you're flexible about that. I'm sure we can discuss it later at the end. I'm sure we can discuss it at the end. That'd be great. We can go through it all at the end. That's it. Just keep pushing. Push, push, push off to the end. Okay? It's huge mistake people make. And you don't even know you're making it. That's the worst. Okay. Danielle, that's a great one. Rasha, I got my boot camper. I gotta get this one in. Oh, let me see. What do we got here? Boot camp. Do I still write a thank you email for today if I have a technical interview on Sunday? This is a great one. Okay, Rasha. Everyone, let's be specific here. Send a thank you email after every interaction. Okay? You don't need to write a book. Okay. I just talked to somebody. The phone screen. Send them a thank you within 24 hours. Now, it's Thursday. Okay? Or I don't know if you had it yesterday or David, doesn't matter. Sunday's 3 days from now. After Sunday, send it to them Sunday. Don't wait till Monday. You got the weekend. You could craft it up. Okay? Send another thank you. Reiterate, if it's the same person, reiterate something different or iterate something differently. If it's if it's a different person, that's okay. It's the first time they're getting one. If it's later in the process and you want to drop a handwritten card in the mail, you can do that. I wouldn't recommend real early in the process you do that. But yes, the answer is always, always, always. And if you are in a panel, 4 people, 4-person Zoom session, whatever, they all get their own thank you emails. The only person that gets doubled up is the recruiter, meaning copy the recruiter on all the thank yous, or copy the HR person. Or if the hiring official is quarterback in the process, then you copy the hiring official. But if you got a recruiter or somebody from HR or talent acquisition or whatever managing your process, you want to include them on all the messages so that they get dropped into your HR folder. Okay, the hiring officials, the technical screeners, they're gonna look at it. They may or may not get back to you. Don't be upset if they don't. It's not a big deal. It doesn't have anything to do with you, and they're gonna just delete it. So keep that in mind. All right, folks. Leadership session tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing all my leaders up on the cameras tomorrow. Can't wait to do some case studying on your tough communications. Next Thursday, live office hours is off. Hopefully you were able to infer that from the fact that I'm going to be meeting with my job search bootcamp members. So the things on special up until Thursday, if you want to take full advantage of the program and all those live coaching sessions, get in now. I mean, between October 22nd and November 25th, you got 7 shots with me. And I teach, we do Q&A. I mean, it's really, really, really fun. So if you got any questions, support@milewalk.com. If you are in our programs, you're going to be able to trade up if you want to get in the boot camp. The leadership and boot camp are separate curriculums. So if you're in the leadership program, that's not a trade up to the boot camp. But we do have, if you're in the boot camp, a discounted rate for the leadership program. So don't worry. You know where to find us. I love you all. Everybody have a great weekend. My leaders, I will see you tomorrow. And then for all of you, I will see you on Tuesday with a video about how to overcome frustration in your job search. How about that? Okay, y'all, be good. I'll see you.